What is up? Welcome into Toilet Styles After Dark, episode number 15. This is our Week 15 NFL preview. We got Saturday football this week too, not just Thursday, Sunday, Monday. I almost forgot. It's going to be a good weekend.
I didn't even think about that. So I get to watch some freaking damn football.
Oh yeah. I know they changed your work schedule on you, so it'll be good for you.
Hell yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that, man.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm glad I made your night. Hopefully everybody else is the same way, right?
You know what, Nate? Just for you, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. There we go. That's right. Get going. Get it going. Hell yeah.
Right off the bat.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So this is a Toilet Styles production. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Nate Wallen. You can find me on Twitter at Nate_Dirt19. I am joined, of course, by Mr. Rich. You can find him on Twitter at FritoBandito_FF. What's good, pal?
Hey man, doing good, man. You actually did make my freaking day, man, because I have been so out of sorts not being able to watch any football. But end of the season. There's always Saturday games, man. I'm freaking pumped now.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And of course, joined by Abe. You can find him on Twitter at MVINFF. How we doing, buddy?
Good, man. So Rich, I actually had this written down in the notes on NFL News, and I'm like, I'll take that off there. We all know this. And then Nate said it, man, you lit up like a Christmas tree. You're so fired up.
I love it right now, man. Right now, my work is so hectic right now. It's just like as soon as I clock in, it's like full go. And it's like, I can't even check my phones. Every once in a while, I'll try to see what's going on and stuff like that. But it's like, when I'm at work, I've been obsolete because of my schedule right now, man. And I feel like I'm missing tons of crap.
Well, guess what? We got 3 games set up for you that are stacked, and none of them are at the same time. So
you don't understand how my heart is pitter-pattering right now.
Hey, before we get into it, I do want to say one thing. Monday Night Football, I know there was 2 games on, but them having 2 screens and switching games was fucking terrible. The Giants fans and the Packers fans, like Abe and I, we didn't give a shit about the other game. Stop fucking switching to it. And same for the Dolphins.
And it was off by 15 seconds. So when we were watching the game out here, because Nate came over Monday night, we had our game on and then the other game on over there, and it was a difference of 15 seconds. Then when you look over the other game, you had a Packers game that you could see, and it was all sorts of fucked up. I didn't like it at all. So.
It's they don't do that on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, I get a game break at a timeout or whatever, at a lull in the game, but don't just bring in a second screen because they're in the red zone. I don't give a shit that Tyreek's going to score another goddamn touchdown. It is what it is, I guess. But before we get going, you can find all our articles, content, everything we do, mock drafts, rankings, and episodes, all at toiletstyles.com. Another mock draft was just released. Rich's rankings and Jason's rankings will be dropped tomorrow, as well as Coaches, Dudes, and Duds. So check that out. Since you're watching this on YouTube, hopefully you already have hit the like and subscribe button. But if you have not, please do so. We would appreciate that. And last but not least, if you do want to interact with us outside of tonight's show, you can hop in our Gilded chat. We talk every single thing from regular football to fantasy football, college, DFS, gambling. It's all there. It's free. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, it feels like sometimes it's 24 hours a day that there's people talking about whatever on there. So you can DM any one of us. We'll get you hooked up, or you can email the show at toiletstotitles@gmail.com, and we'll get you in there. So, and also, I think they're still doing a bunch of giveaways. You got to be in the Gilded chat to get into those, like Yeti tumblers and fun stuff like that. So, yeah, check us out. It's free. So, week 15 is here. No more buys. That's fun. Fantasy playoffs. You guys all make all your leagues, I assume, right?
We were having discussion. I ain't gonna say out of the 3 of us, someone didn't make any of the playoffs. I won't say who.
Not in my money leagues. That would be me. Nate, you've seen my injuries this year.
Yeah,
it is nonstop.
Abe and I are we've been in it for since Mike Evans was a rookie, because I drafted him and kept him for years.
Yeah, it's 10+ years.
Yeah, and I had a good run with a Todd Gurley, Leonard Fournette situation for a few years a while back, and then Kamara, and then the last 3 years my team has been really shitty, and now I'm the number 1 seed, so I got to bye this week, kind of turn things around. And yes, I beat Abe one week 96 to 75. Both our teams were really bad, and Abe's had a rough go this year. Not a typical year.
Yeah, I've had a lot of injuries and a lot of bad situations. And if I don't have a direct injury from like a quarterback, I have Garrett Wilson with Zach Wilson throwing the ball or something like that. I have a lot of shit like that. But it's just one of those years I drafted in the same spot a lot, and so a lot of my teams are the same. It's just part of it. I mean, it's just, you run into injuries. Everyone has injuries. I'm not the only person in the league that has injuries, so I get it. But it was one of those things where it was just like nonstop. Then you'd go pick up a guy, then that guy would get hurt, or his quarterback would get hurt, something like that. It was nonstop. But it is what it is. It happens. It's part of fantasy football. It's not perfect. Everyone has it. I just ran into it quite a bit this year. But in our league, Nate, I don't know if you saw this or not, but I did trade for the 2nd, 3rd, and 8th round picks. So I will be picking more than likely in our 10-team league next year. I'll be picking 1st, 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So I'll have 5 picks in the first 22 next year.
That'll be good.
Yeah,
that'll be real good.
So hopefully I can turn it around.
Yeah, you will. I got faith in you. You need to tune in to those titles and go through the Patreon flip book for injuries, and it helps, right?
Yes, man, that thing's awesome.
Even though it was too bad that you had guys on every single page this year, but next year, hopefully that won't be the case, because I had some leagues like that.
Yes.
Hey, Rich, did you advance in Scott Fishbowl?
Nah, I missed it. I'm in a total of 15 playoffs. I made 15 league playoffs, and my two favorites, Scott Fish and Frankenstein, I got booted out this week. So,
well, I didn't even make the playoffs in Frankenstein, but I did. I'm still alive in Scott Fishbowl. So
yeah, you and Coach are the last ones from the T2T that made it in. I needed Tyreek to have a big game, and that just didn't happen. So,
yeah, I was a little nervous. I went from 14th place down to like 200 something now, but that's still top half.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's top 500. That top 500 in and out of how many that started out? Do you know?
It's over 3,000.
Yeah,
3,300. I think.
Pretty damn impressive.
So, yeah, hopefully we can get a little magic this weekend and get back up near the top, so you feel a little safer. So, yeah, it's a fun time. So hopefully, like I said, everybody's doing well, and maybe get a few questions here before the end of the show for that. Yeah, new quarterback in Minnesota. The Josh Dobbs experience is over. The rocket ship, it came home. It's done. I was kind of curious how long that would last. That's kind of how it seems like some of those guys are. So it's Nick Mullins' time in Minnesota. Justin Jefferson's playing this weekend, right? I believe.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Questionable, but I mean, I'm assuming he'll play. So
yeah, he's tagged as questionable, but even his coach today said day to day. So I mean, when someone makes a comment like day to day compared to questionable, that means more than likely he's going to play. So yeah, I would assume he's going to come out and play.
You starting him if you're in the playoffs? You starting him?
I think you have to. I mean, you don't draft him number 1 overall to sit him in the playoffs. So
yeah, well, I said that last week too, but man, look what he did last week.
Yeah,
no, not his fault.
Man, it was just rough.
Yeah, he got lit up, and
that was a big hit. He got crunched pretty hard.
Matter of fact, I had him in both Scott Fish and Frankenstein, and that kind of hurt me too. So,
yeah, well, I think, like I said, I'm kind of with Abe. I think if he's going, the ceiling's too high to, it's the playoffs. Like I said, you're not, you're gonna be pissed if he's, goes for 185 and 2 touchdowns and he's on your bench because you're like, well, I don't know,
you have to start him. I mean, Mullins is a better passing quarterback than
Big Dick Nick Mullins. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, if your wide receiving core is just absolutely loaded, where your number 3 guy is like Ayuk or something, and 4 would be Jefferson, then that's something to consider. But I mean, that's tough to imagine that you have that. But there's people probably that went after and got Jefferson when he was on the IR from people, and maybe a stacked a team and they already had 3 good wide receivers and gave up, a quarterback and a tight end. Now they have Jefferson. He's, a 3B or something like if you already got, like Amon-Ra and Cooper Kupp and Ayuk, and then you have Justin Jefferson out there, I don't know. Maybe you sit Jefferson.
Yeah, I put him in the flex. If that's the case. I put him in the fucking
yeah.
flex.
I mean, you're absolutely loaded. There's always a way to say no. You should probably sit him, but for the most part, I mean, if you don't have three guys dominant in front of them, you got to play them. So
yeah. Last thing too. There's other stuff, but Bill Belichick apparently it's done. Is what they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
I think that is the stupidest fucking thing Bob Kraft could do, besides going back to the massage parlor. I don't know. Like I said, I know things have been rough, but like, who's he had to coach? You know what I mean? Like, and I get it. Like, you should overcome that stuff, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, we sit here and bitch about coaches all the time, but like, who's better? Like,
exactly. Who are you fucking hiring? You gonna bring Matt Patricia back to use his fucking pencil on his iPad?
Yeah, it's just like, what do you have? What do you have planned up that's better than this? Like, it's just hard. I mean, like I said, Nate, you and I bitch about coaches all the time. Then you sit there and go, well, who are we gonna get this better? And then if we get someone else and they're worse, then we're set back another year. So
Bill Belichick would be better. We could fire LaFuck and get Bill Belichick.
Yeah, or make him a D coordinator. So
I've been seeing all these reports today.
20-yard fucking cushions.
I've been seeing all these things today that he's going to come be the D coordinator in fucking Green Bay. I'm like,
that's not going to happen.
Maybe if they let him be the fucking GM and the president and the D coordinator.
Oh, well, they'd never give that up. So
yeah,
I think the issue is they should keep Belichick, but don't let him do the drafting and everything. I think that's where a big mistake was made for. I don't know how long he's had the real say so as far as how the draft goes. Seems like every year when they pan in on him, he's at his house with the dog sitting next to him, and he's the one that's making these draft picks and stuff like that. That should be taken away from him and then keep him there and everything. But on the same token and stuff like that, it's just the way the NFL league is and everything. It's like, yeah, as good as he is and one of the greatest of all time and everything.
The greatest of all time. That guy could go coach fucking cricket tomorrow and win a goddamn World Cup in cricket. Like,
yeah, I get it, but man, it's like you see all these young bucks coming in and they're changing the game with their team. I mean, you look at freaking 49 with the 49ers and stuff like that. You look at freaking, I know you guys are going to hate me saying this, but the Philadelphia coach and stuff like that. It is what
I mean. Hates him as much as I do.
What's that?
Who?
Sirianni.
Sirianni, yeah.
Oh no, I definitely hate him more than you do.
Oh, okay. Well, we're on the same page.
I hate that guy.
It just Belichick hasn't done much to change what the way the NFL is. You got to sit there. Yeah, they had Brady there and everything, but they just haven't done anything since and stuff like that. You just ain't doing anything new.
Right, Rich. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be like, "Hey, what the fuck is this guy talking about?" But I do have to agree with you. I got in this conversation with a couple of buddies about a month ago with it. Like, if I do think his accomplishments are they're the best. They're the best. They're awesome. They're unreal. But we've also seen before he got to New England, before he got Tom Brady rolling, he was not that great of a coach. I mean, he was good, but he was not that great. Now, as soon as Brady left, he's not been that great of a coach. I mean, so the argument, in my opinion, is there. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to say, shut the hell up. This, you don't know what you're talking about. But when you look at his numbers, I mean, he is well under 500 without Tom Brady. And I mean, well under 500. So, and Tom Brady left, and I know he went to a pretty good defense, but he won a Super Bowl his second year. Belichick has been under 500 since Brady left. And I mean, once again, kind of well under 500. His first year with Mac Jones, they went to the playoffs and got absolutely shellacked. And then since then, they've been embarrassed. So I don't disagree with you that much, Rich, but his accomplishments are absolutely amazing. So it's hard to say that he's, in my opinion, he's still the best. But at some point in time, you're 80 years old, you might want to think about either delegating one of the two things or giving it up. And I can see that. And maybe he doesn't have that. Maybe he doesn't have it anymore. Not just that, or the drive within. I don't know. I mean, at some point you got
like this. It's like this. It's like Blockbuster. Blockbuster was the greatest of all time. We could all agree on that and everything, but
No,
they didn't
have that
change.
here.
Oh, come on. Are you serious?
We didn't. Family Video.
Okay, still,
I know. I
Blockbuster.
just fucking with you. We really didn't have it, but I know.
Blockbuster is the greatest
he ain't
of all
lying.
time. Is the greatest of all time, but didn't change with the times, and look what happened to them.
Yeah, but
I mean those red fucking things next to Walgreens came up. You know, like they didn't adapt. No, I mean I think that Belichick adapts all right. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know if he can evaluate talent like he could when he had Brady on his team. I mean, he could go out and load up on defense and be absolutely okay. Brady, there's only a few years where Brady was loaded on offense. I mean, when Moss was there, and that they had good tight ends. Belichick could find a couple good tight ends.
Yeah, but that's all when they were bringing in free agency. It wasn't through the draft. I mean, defensive wise, yes, he's a defensive coach and everything. He knew talent and stuff like that. But tell me a receiver that he drafted that has excelled.
Well, none. You're 100% right.
I mean,
you're 100% right.
Rich just doesn't like him because Josh McDaniels came from there, and Josh McDaniels ruined the Raiders.
Yeah, dude, you guys said it. Look, he's the greatest of all time. I get it and stuff like that. It's just,
hey, Rich, I agree to a certain point with you. Like, I see that side of it, and I'm like, and I had this argument on your side of it, a month ago with some friends. They was like, "How can you fucking say this?" And I'm like, "Listen, it is there. It is on the wall. This dude is number 1 or number 2 coach of all time. No doubt about it in my mind." But when he has not had the GOAT with him, and in order for anyone to be a good coach, you have to have a great quarterback. I get that. I understand that stuff. But you had the GOAT, and when you didn't have the GOAT, you are well under 500. I mean, I think I want to say he's like 40-some games below 500 without Tom Brady as his coach or as his quarterback. At that point in time, you got to sit there and think, well, I mean, could Matt LaFleur take Tom Brady to win Super Bowls?
No,
not as much as Bill Belichick. No, I get it, but at the same time, like, I think even the Chargers coach could take Tom Brady and some of those Patriots teams to win championships. So I don't know.
Let's just open the door for McDaniels to come back to be the coach.
No, I don't know if that'll happen.
I said who they hiring. Same, and also real quick before we move on, like saying Mike Tomlin's job's like up in the air. Who the fuck are you hiring?
Right, exactly. Same thing I just said. Like there's no one better. There's no one that's had. The guy's had a winning record for what, like 17 straight seasons or something.
I fucking love Mike Tomlin.
So do I. Huge fan.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm ready. Lou Anaromo is who that's my guy I want, but we're not going to fire the fuck. And Joe Barry's still going to be the defensive coordinator next year, so that's cool.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we got that going for us. All right, let's go talk about some fun things. Fantasy favorites for the week. This one's kind of easy, but I had to say it anyways. I got Dak going against Buffalo. Buffalo's defense is not very good. I know they played somewhat better against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs offense struggles. So I think Dak to continue his tear that he's on. Big Mike and Dak they got something going. So I like Dak against the Bills. Not very good defense.
Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I was. It's funny. It's like all year, not so much year, but the season and stuff like that. I know me and Nate and Abe, we've always trying to pick somebody. Normally not in the top, but it's like this year, this week, I feel like we all might be. I'm going Brock Purdy. I mean, he's playing against Cardinals and stuff like that. I know they're coming from a bye and everything, but man, here's another prime example where Brock Purdy is looking to be like the next freaking Tom Brady because of coaching with him and the cast around him and stuff like that. Has probably the best cast offense around him and everything to support him, and all he's doing is just going out and excelling, putting up huge numbers.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about Brock Purdy, and this needs to be said, a lot of people are like, well, he's got CMC, he's got all these guys around him. I mean, he still has to make these throws. And these throws
he's going to win the MVP, him or Lamar.
Yeah, those throws are absolute fucking dimes downfield. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, they are still on point. And I know he's had some tough times, like the Thanksgiving night against Seattle. I know he struggles against cover 3, cover 4 a little bit, but damn, he is really good. And it's time people just put it away and be like, I don't care if he was the last pick taken.
I'm fucking tired of hearing that shit.
He's good. Give him props. Give him credit. His record.
Okay. It's okay that he's good. It's okay.
Yes. He is. His record speaks for himself. Just give him credit. The dude deserves it. And like, it's not like he is. It's not like he's dropping those those little things like this all game long to Debo, and Debo is taking him to the house or something like that. Like Kittle's getting open downfield and he's hitting him on a dime, or Ayuk is going down the left sideline and he is throwing one. I mean, right in his breadbasket. I mean, give him credit. He's really good, and I think he's going to have a heyday against Arizona. I agree with you there, Rich. So, my quarterback is Matt Stafford. He's playing Washington. A really, really good matchup, I think. And Stafford's looked really good the last couple weeks. So I like Stafford this week as my quarterback. These three quarterbacks we listed are probably going to be the main three quarterbacks listed in DFS lineups. So yeah, these are the guys.
Running back, I like Bijan against Panthers. Panthers fucking stink. And I mean, obviously, if Art Smith knows what he's doing, which I don't think he does, give the ball to Bijan a lot. So, and you should have no problem, whipping up on. I know they lost a tough one to the Bucs last week, but I feel like that NFC South still a pretty tight race. You're under 500 winning the division. So,
yeah, solid choice there. I like him. He's in my top 10. Another person that's in my top 10 is Mr. Kyron Williams with the Rams going up against the Washington Commanders. Another team coming off a bye and everything, but oh man, he's going to have a heyday against Commanders. I think I have him ranked as my number 3 running back this week.
It's a good spot.
Yeah, Washington football team defense is fucking miserable.
Yeah. My running back is Rachaad White. Speaking of miserable defenses against the run, he plays the Green Bay this week.
He's averaging 7.5.
Yeah, so I think Rachaad White. So I have to give props to, I don't know what podcast I was listening to this morning, but or even this afternoon, I don't remember what it was, but someone was saying, and I went back and looked at this when I got back to my office today and looked. Rachaad White is second in points and running backs since week 7 to Christian McCaffrey.
He's been tearing it up. He had over 100 last week.
Only like 9 fantasy points or 10 fantasy points. Like, I mean, so it's not a huge margin between Rachaad White and Christian McCaffrey since week 7. So, and this dude's lighting up. I mean, he's playing really good. He's catching the ball in the backfield. He's running the ball well. He will tear up Green Bay's defense. So Rachaad White's who I like.
Yeah.
So when we went to Canton for the Fantasy Expo, me, Jason, and George, we were walking around, and there was one table where you could go there, and they were giving out free shots and everything. So me, George, and Jason, we went over there to take shots together. And I don't care what they say, but we did take shots together. But to do it, you had to go on camera at this table and give a hot take and stuff like that for the year before the season started. And my hot take was Rachaad White would be a top 5 running back by end of season.
Hell yeah! Hopefully, he wins some more booze.
You are there. Just keep doing shots.
And they got it on video.
Tell the story. What'd you say, Rich?
And they got it on video, so they better show that somewhere.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Wide receiver, another one to pair up with Mr. Rain Dakota Prescott. CeeDee Lamb, they're gonna fucking eat. It's not gonna change. I don't need to say anything else.
So I'll go next because you're pairing up your quarterback and wide receiver, and so am I. I got Cooper Kupp versus Washington. With Stafford as my quarterback. I said that earlier. Cooper Kupp's got a phenomenal matchup this week in the slot against Artavius Martin. He's been getting lit up. So that combination of quarterback, wide receiver, Stafford and Kupp, kind of like yours with Dak and CD, is where we're going. So, Rich, let us know who your top wide receiver is.
You're mute.
I was actually saying my top receiver, if I wasn't on mute, is going to be Mr. Mike Evans playing against the Green Bay Packers. I know we talked about this in previous weeks. All this guy does every year is comes in and puts up 1,000 yards receiving and shows, and he's done it every season he's been in with the NFL and stuff like that. I like him this week against the Green Bay Packers.
He's got quite a height advantage over our fucking corners too. So We'll see how he does in the cold weather, but probably solid because it's Mike Evans. Tight end, David Njoku. Got the Bears coming to town. I love fucking Joe Flacco. That dude is fucking slinging the fucking rock.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like it's like vintage, like going back to the goddamn Super Bowl. I heard a TikTok today, a guy talking like the Ravens' worst nightmare right now is having to play the Browns in the playoffs, and Joe Flacco comes to fucking town. Like, I love it, dude. Watching him play right now is it's fun.
Like, why the hell did the Jets go get him?
But there were a lot of teams that needed him.
Like, well, I mean, technically, anyone can still go and get him.
Did they haven't elevated him yet?
Yeah. So
why
technically, you can. Well, just because he's basically said, like, you know, I'm not going to. You guys are the only one that gave me a shot, so I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. So they'll have to. I don't know what the logistics is, but they have to, like, you know, quote, sign him, I guess. I think before next weekend or after next weekend's game, something like that. But technically, anyone can still go get him. But he made it very clear, like, no, Cleveland's the only one that wanted me. Like, he was with the Jets last year and just lit up Cleveland. And then the Jets lose Rodgers, you know, 4 plays into the season and don't even contact him. And then Cleveland goes out and get him. He is just slinging it around the field.
The Jets do a lot of smart things. So, I mean, they let go of Magic Mike White Lightning. That was fucking dumb.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, give me Njoku having a good day against the Bears. I know their defense is starting to play a little better, but Bears are going to bear.
I'm going Mr. Dallas Goedert playing against the Seattle Seahawks. Look, he's back.
I want to see Goddard touchdown this weekend. I'd like that.
I would love to see that too. I mean, if you sit there and think about it, they really needed Goddard to come back and everything. The way the offense has been going and stuff to give that third option to Jalen Hurts and everything. Maybe hasn't really truly happened yet, but I like this week to have that opportunity to be more involved.
I couldn't agree more. Seattle last year was really, really bad against tight ends. They started the first half this year, not so great against tight ends. They've tightened up a little bit this year, but and I agree with you so much. When Goddard's not on the field, that for whatever reason, Devonta Smith does better, but other than that, they don't play as good. Like, I don't know why, but he's kind of a catalyst for that offense, and it's weird to say that since he's basically the number 4 option. But he's one of those guys that they just
Jack Stoll doesn't fill his shoes quite right.
No, not so much. But I like that call a lot. My tight end I like this week is TJ Hawkinson against Cincinnati. Cincy has notoriously given up points to tight ends this year. Hawkinson, I think, only benefits by having Justin Jefferson back. He went through a streak of about 5 games for, he had about 5 catches for 50 yards. Had a huge game in between one of those. Having Jefferson back, I think, just kind of opens up the middle for him to get open in the seam. So I like Hawkinson against the Cincy defense that gives up a lot to the tight ends.
Cincy's defense is falling off. They're not good.
Man, they're playing well, though. Like, they're winning games all of a sudden. So,
because Jake the Snake, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty awesome story.
Oh, yeah. Rich, what do you got for his DFS lineup? Which is yours just Sunday or is it Saturday? Mine's just Sunday.
You know what? I didn't look. I just clicked on a freaking one of the matchups and I just started picking players. So, to be honest with you, I don't remember seeing what it was.
Looks like Sunday.
It might have been and stuff like that. Like I said, I clicked on the first one that came up and I started picking my players.
Yep.
All right, so I got Stafford. I know Abe mentioned him earlier. I'm taking him at 6,000. I'm pairing him up with Kyron Williams. That's somewhat my stack and everything. If you want to look at it that way, but I look both of them to get tons of work in this game. I mean, Stafford's going to get the points from throwing to Kyron Williams, but he also has Puka and Cup to throw to. So I like that pairing right there. I'm going to ride another week with Ezekiel Elliott. Still not sure if Stevenson is going to be back. Elliott had a huge game last week. I like for him to have another week if Ramondre doesn't go again. I'm taking Romeo Doubs. I know Christian Watson does he plan on being back this week?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think he'll be back this week.
And then also the other rookie, he's dinged up and everything, so he might be a good focal point. The only worry about it is if that's the case, maybe they cover him a lot more to where he doesn't get that. But I do like him at the value that I'm getting him at. I went Brandon Cooks at 5,200. Not the best matchup with Buffalo and everything, but
No, I hope he's fine.
He's been getting it done and everything
scored a touchdown
with all
this
the
weekend.
focus on Lamb and Ferguson. But where I'm taking a big hit is Brandon Ayuk 7,200 against Arizona. I'm taking Logan Thomas in the same game with the against the Rams and everything. I like for him. He's only 3,700. So what's interesting when I was going through DraftKings, and I mean, there is so many players with questionables listed on them and stuff. It was really hard to try to find value because you had a lot of people that were down there, but they had that questionable status and everything. So it was a little bit more tougher this week. I went D-Hop at 6,200 and the flex, and Carolina Panthers. I just went with the cheapest defense in there. They are playing against Atlanta. I like Bijan to have a good game, but maybe Ritter doesn't. So I'm just looking for some opportunity there.
Like it.
Oh yeah. All right.
There you go, Nate. Are you ready?
Okay. Go for it.
So I did my lineup from Thursday to Monday night just because I'm fired up that we have 3 fucking awesome days of football this weekend with NFL. So I did all of them. That's how I set mine up. I got Stafford at quarterback. I think he was like the 11th priced quarterback on the weekend. I don't think he's going to be an 11th ranked quarterback on the weekend, so I thought there's good value there. My running backs, I have Ty Chandler. I don't think Madison's going to play this weekend. So I think Ty Chandler against Cincinnati is a nice little, fit at running back there. He shows a little bit more juice for Minnesota. Rashad White, I got at my other running back. I mentioned him earlier. My wide receivers, I have Cooper Kupp paired with Matthew Stafford. I have Chris Olave. We saw the Giants have I think they play the Giants, don't they? No, they play the Colts. They play the Giants or the Colts?
Thanks, Giants.
So Nate and I sat out here, and the Giants have a corner that's just absolutely terrible, and we didn't take advantage of it. And matter of fact, we had our wide receiver run 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage all day. They won't do that with Olave.
Yeah, that fucking end around worked one time, so we're gonna keep fucking doing it.
Yeah, but I think Olave will tear up that. I think his name is Flott or something. He's a terrible quarterback. But so my wide receivers are Kupp, Olave, and my third wide receiver is Odell Beckham. This guy loves the spotlight on Sunday Night Football. I like him a lot this week. He's got a great matchup, and he was really cheap. He was only $4,000 on DraftKings. My tight end is Tucker Kraft from the Packers. Like Rich mentioned, we are down some wide receivers this week.
Kraft mac and cheese.
Kraft mac and cheese, that's right. Tampa Bay has struggled in the secondary. They have a lot of injuries banged up in the secondary. So I like Tucker Kraft quite a bit. My tight end. My flex is Bijan. Nate and you and Rich mentioned earlier, I think he has a really nice week this week. And my defense is your Las Vegas Raiders. Going up against that baseball bat Easton stick. I like the Raiders defense. They played pretty darn good this week against Minnesota. So I think they do it again this week against Easton stick. So that's my DraftKings team.
He put North Dakota State on the map before Trey Lance tried to fuck it up. Okay?
Who's that?
Easton Stick.
Is that where he's from? I guess I didn't even know that.
Hell yeah. But he was there. He was before Trey Lance.
He sling it to Watson also when Watson was a freshman?
Maybe. I guess I didn't.
Because Trey Lance didn't really play that much. He only played like a season and a half. So
just like now.
Wait. So I get to bring Easton Stick off my Debbie taxi squad?
It's time.
Damn. I'm going to plug him in.
It's time. Hey, if not now, when, Rich?
Yeah, that's right. Maybe during baseball season. I don't know.
Oh yeah. All right, mine. I got Joe Flacco at quarterback.
Yes,
$5,500. I just couldn't help myself. I couldn't. I was fired up. I got a little more pricey running backs. Went Bijan, like we've all said. I think we all have him now. And then Rashad White is my other running back, 7,000. Had to. A little stack action here. Amari Cooper at 6,000. I said I know the Bears defense has been stout, but Joe's that ball just looks too goddamn good to not let it, let it rip. It is.
It's so smooth coming off his hand.
It is. My other receiver, Drake London. I feel like last week they realized like how good that guy is. So maybe that continues. Probably not, because that's usually how the NFL works. If something worked last week, we're not going to do it again this week. But what the fuck do I know?
He's got a good matchup too.
Yeah. Rashee Rice, my other wide receiver. Somebody has to catch the ball for Pat Mahomes, or he's going to really cry. Hopefully it's Rashee Rice. So Travis Kelce looks like he's about ready to retire. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just feels like there's not much fire left.
He's the Eras tour. He's gone, dude.
I
He's
know.
on the Eras tour.
Fucking wildest dreams, buddy. That's my favorite T Swift song, if you're wondering. Tight end, Njoku time again. I had Jake Ferguson in there, and I talked myself out of it because why would I not want to have the guy that Flacco's throwing the ball to? So, at flex, got Romeo Dobbs, like we've all said. I think Jaden Reed might not play, and Dontavian Wicks also could be out. So that's not good for Abe and I.
I think Reed will play.
I hope so.
Wicks has a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, it's an ankle sprain, and they originally said it was a high ankle sprain and a concussion. And he said today, I will play this weekend. It's just an ankle sprain. That's all I got. So we'll see.
I mean, if Jaden Reed doesn't play, I don't know how half of the plays in LaFuck's playbook work. I mean, all those end around reverses that involve Jaden Reed, that were fucked, So he's got to be out there. And then my defense is the Giants. They made us look like shit. The Saints fucking stink. They can't move the ball. I don't know if Captain Checkdown is he going to be under center, or is Jameis going to be slinging the rock?
Nah, it'll be Carr.
Yeah, Captain Checkdown. So the defense riding high after getting a big win against the Packers, so I look for that to continue. So that's my DFS lineup. I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I like these lineups.
It's all because Joe Flacco. That's why I feel good, but, that's fine. Before we move on, I do want to talk about our Patreon real quick. Patreon.com/toilets to titles. There's 6 different tiers. I know the season's kind of wrapping up right now, but there's still a lot of good information being shared in our Patreon chat. Start sit, things like that. All that good stuff going on to get through your fantasy playoffs. Doing a bunch of giveaways that are exclusive to Patreon members. During the season, we do a waiver wire episode that is great. Comes out Monday nights. Like I said, the little flip book I mentioned earlier that comes out from them is great as well. Like I said, that's just awesome that we have that. So thank you if you are a supporter, and if you have more questions, hit us up and we'll get you in the right direction. So
yeah, hey, I also want to say too, real quick, is look, the season is coming towards the end as far as fantasy, but we are still heading in the playoffs, and we do contests going in the playoffs. We have we do one contest where you every week you pick a lineup. Once you use that player in that week, you can't use them for the rest of the playoffs going into the Super Bowl. So if you're interested in that, hit us up. Also, we are doing another kind of contest where you say, for example, how many teams make the playoffs? I'm just
14.
drawing a blank. All right. So using the numbers 1 through 14, you put a number to attach it to a team. And say you attach 14 to the 49ers. Each week they win, you get 14 points and everything. So another good, interesting playoff strategy that we're doing. So if it's something that you're interested in, either one of them, hit all of us up. Like I said, toilets to titles. What was the gmail.com? There you go.
But also, before we get in our lines, got a new rule. I saw a Tucker Craft tweet earlier because the Jackrabbits are playing Friday night under the lights. And he said, show up for the fellows, Long Johns and Rumplemans. Apparently, we're going to start doing shots of Rumplemans when he scores touchdowns.
Fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, see, I knew you were going to say no. So
yeah, I'm not going to say no to the guy.
I don't know the last time I did a shot of Rumplemans, but I guess we're fucking back in it.
Yeah, sure. I'll go get a bottle tomorrow.
Oh, God. Yeah, hell yeah. All right. Let's get into some lines. I'll go first. I like the Broncos getting 4 points, going to Detroit. Detroit's looked pretty terrible lately. The Denver defense has been playing. It's been unreal how good they've been. Tons of takeaways. I know Goff plays a lot better at home, but I just like the way that Denver's playing. It's weird to say that. I think that Javonte will have a good day, as well as probably Samaje Perine. And Cortland Sutton will probably make another wild catch. So let's ride.
Yeah, and I'm going Raiders -3 over the Chargers. Look, Easton Stick is look, no Herbert. There ain't gonna be no Keenan Allen. Um, this might be a bad game to watch, just to kind of throw it out there and everything. But it's still my Raiders. I'm gonna watch them. I'm picking this for them to beat the Chargers with them minus their two studs and everything. The defense, the last time they played, they had a great game against us. But look, if you ain't got Herbert and freaking Keenan Allen, what the hell are you going to be doing? You just can't keep on forcing the ball. Maybe you can to Eckler and stuff like that, but the Raiders defense is legit. I don't care what anybody says. That's the one thing that has shown up for the Raiders this year is Crosby and that defense. So taking the Raiders -3 over the Chargers.
Kellen Moore will make Easton Stick throw the ball 40 times because he's a fucking idiot.
Is Jacobs playing tomorrow night, Rich? Do you know?
Say what?
Is Jacobs playing? It doesn't sound like he is. That's what I heard.
You know what? They haven't said anything yet.
Yeah.
It's hush,
That'll be
hush.
interesting to find out.
It's Amir Abdullah time.
And Zamir White.
Zamir White. Yeah.
And Amir Abdullah.
Yeah. I mean, are we going to get a touchdown that game tomorrow?
Yes, we will.
I mean, go bet. Here's what we should do. Go bet like Devontae to score the first touchdown and Devontae to score the last touchdown, and maybe Devontae scores the only touchdown, and you can parlay those first and last touchdown and make some money off of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm like, give it a shot. Hell,
hey,
the shots.
So speaking of Devontae Adams, rivalfantasy.com. If you haven't had an opportunity to go and take in some of the festivities in there, the way we do, the way they run their site and everything, I threw a contest up for anybody that's interested. You have to pick a player that was drafted in the second round, any league to play against me. I chose Devontae Adams. He was drafted obviously by the Packers in the second round in 2014. So if you want to partake in this challenge, go find someone else and send me a challenge.
I like that. Nice. My first betting pick I like of the weekend is Chiefs -7.5 at New England. The Chiefs are pissed, and for whatever reason, that's their own choice, their own call. They're going to be pissed for whatever reason, but I think that I think that they come out and really pour it on. I don't know if that means they get to 20 finally. I don't know what it means, but New England can't score, and the Chiefs defense has been pretty good all season long. I think this is a low-scoring game. I think it's like 23-3 or something. But I think they definitely cover 7.5. It's one of those games where, I don't think it's that close. And maybe there's some nuggies involved. I don't know. So I think the Chiefs definitely cover 7.5 though.
Hell yeah. I like Colts -1.5. Got Pittsburgh coming to town. MVP Mitch under center again for the Steelers. This might be the week the Gardner Minshew train goes off the tracks. I don't know yet. Hopefully it's not. Like I said, maybe he just keeps on going. Those sweet cutoff jorts he's wearing, the mustache, and Zach Moss. Whatever. I like the Colts at home though. They had a wild game against Jake the Snake last weekend. I think things kind of get back on the right track for him. So I like the Colts.
Yeah, I like the Colts too.
I didn't see that on there. Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No, that's fine and stuff like that. I picked the same one, but so I'm not going to go too in depth to that. I'm going to go to my other one is I am taking the Jake the Snake and leading the Bengals -3 over the Vikings that will not have Josh Dobbs playing. So, man, it's crazy how the Bengals have looked as far as offense. We would have thought it, but look, it is what it is. I'm riding that for another week in a row, for 3 weeks in a row.
I like it. My second bet I like is Tampa +3.5 at Green Bay. If this was under 3, I probably would not have taken this. But I like the hook. I like Tampa getting 3.5. They're fighting for a playoff spot, not just a playoff spot, but a division lead. So I think they come in. They had a pretty big win last week. They're really banged up. Green Bay's kind of banged up. I guess Green Bay's their injury list is always outrageous. But Green Bay didn't look very good on Monday Night Football. We'll see if they bounce back and get aggressive like they did on their 4 or 5 weeks where they look good. But if this was, like I said, if this was under 3, I would not have taken it. But I like Tampa plus 3.5 against Green Bay.
Yep, I agree. Unfortunately, next one, I like Falcons -3 at the Panthers. Okay, we kind of touched on this earlier, and with Ritter and London and Bijan, and how pitiful the Panthers are. I feel bad for Bryce Young. Hopefully things get turned around for him. I'm not really putting all of it on his shoulders. I think he's just kind of been dealt a shit hand. Frank Reich really set him off in the right way. So I like the Falcons getting points or Falcons being – I can't talk. I'm sorry. Falcons -3. Fuck, sorry.
It's all right, Nate. It's all right. So I went Raiders -3. I went Bengals -3. I went Colts -1.5. I initially was looking for something where I could pick something as a plus, but couldn't do it when I saw 49ers 12.5 over the Cardinals. Now this one might turn around and bite me in the butt. This could be Cardinals could probably hang and stuff like that, but man, 49ers, like I said, they just freaking look so damn good. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat them by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, let's not forget. I mean, the NFL. A lot of people, when the 49ers lost 3 straight, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, Purdy's. Now we're seeing the real Brock Purdy, and now they can't do this, now they can't do that." And the NFL is loaded with NFL talent. You are playing against professionals every single week, and it's a long season, and you have some injuries, and there's lows and there's highs. There's teams like that have that, and then they bounce back, and how they react to that is the difference maker of a dominant team compared to not. This 49ers team is that team. So when people were talking shit about them when they're on a 3-game losing streak, like, oh, Purdy's not what everyone said he was, they're done, they'll probably win their division. That's a joke. I mean, that is an absolute joke. There's teams that, there's one team ever in NFL history that's gone undefeated. And, so it's hard to do that in this league, especially now that we're at 18 weeks, 17 games. It's hard to do that. So you got to give props to the Niners. I mean, they hit a little bit of a lull, and now they're rolling again. That team is damn good. They're fun to watch. So I really like that a lot also. My last bet that I like is I love points. So I'm going to – there's 2 games this week in the NFL where we have an over-under above 50. This is, I think, the first time all season long that this is the case. And I'm going to take one of the overs. I like the Commanders and Rams over 50.5. I think this game gets in the 60s. Washington has absolutely no defense. The Rams defense is pretty good. They can get to the quarterback a little bit, but they give up some points also. And I think both these teams get up and down the field. So I like the Rams. The Rams they've been slinging it. They've been scoring some points. So I like this game above 50.5. And then you get Sam Howell on the other side. That guy, once again, another guy that's been slinging it up and down the field. So I really like this over a lot. I think this over touches probably 53 before kickoff. I think that it's going to continue to rise because bettors like us likes to bet overs. So we're going to see this and get a little bit excited because it should be a fantasy bonanza game.
Oh yeah. One more I threw in there. I like the Browns -3 against Chicago. Just Joe Flacco, dude. I can't help it.
Can't get away from it. I love it.
I can't. So
I love it.
A Super Bowl champion against a future Super Bowl Hall of Famer MVP champion. I had to one more time.
Oh God.
Oh shit. Are you still? What's Beat the Bandito going, Rich? Is it done?
No, man. This is all season long. Currently with the rankings, I'm sitting at number 3. I got 2 people above me. Fantasy Guru, he's like 210 points ahead of me right now. And then I got Duarte. I think he's like 110 ahead of me. So I got a lot to do to catch up. So hopefully this week right here, with this lineup I have will help me catch up. And hopefully they turn in a horrible lineup. And I'm able to make some ground up. So Beat the Bandito week 15 lineup. Week 15, correct? Yeah. Sam Howell, I'm sticking there at QB against the Los Angeles Rams. Abe just said it. High-scoring game. I want this to be a shootout. On the opposite side, I'm staying within the same matchup. I'm going Kyron Williams versus the Washington Commanders. We We talked about it earlier. Like I said, I'm a little worried about this. Romeo Dubs versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If he's their only option, are they able to shut him down? But with that being said, he's going to get peppered with targets and stuff like that. So I want someone that's going to get peppered at targets with other injuries around him. I'm kind of hoping Isaiah Likely has a game like Njoku did last week. He freaking had a huge game. Likely's been playing pretty well with the injury to Mark Andrews, so taking him against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we've been talking him name for the past half hour is Rachaad White at my flex against the Green Bay Packers.
When you putting in, you gonna use Joe Flacco next week then?
Hey, it's that time of year where you start getting slim pickings because you can only pick one player at a time. So I need to see one more performance from him before I plug him in.
Well, it'll be this weekend. Don't worry.
Nate, you gotta order a Flacco jersey.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
But I already got the Johnny Manziel Browns jersey. I guess I'll have to get a second Browns
No,
jersey.
I mean, not even a Browns one. Like, get a Delaware Blue Hens one.
That'd be fucking sweet.
Oh yeah, go real old school.
Hell yeah. That'd be good. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week after the stellar weekend of football we're about to have. Should be a fun one starting tomorrow night. I think that game, regardless of, we watched a pretty sloppy game Monday night. The Raiders just beat the Vikings or lost the Vikings 3-0. I didn't ask Rich much about that game. But hey, they're going to double that score at least this weekend.
It's a new week.
Yeah.
It's a new week.
That's right.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we're gonna triple that score.
Woo!
Careful. Get wild. Get wild.
I like it.
Thanks for tuning in. You can find the show on Twitter at Towards the Titles. You can find me on Twitter at Nate_Dirt19. You can find Rich at FredoBandito_FF. You can find Abe at MVinFF. That's MVINFF on Twitter. Sorry, got a little problem with throat. If you're watching on YouTube, which you are, because that's what this is, hit the like and subscribe button. We'd appreciate that. Check out our Gilded chat. You can DM any one of us to get into that. And we'll see y'all next week. Good luck and good gambling.
Good luck.